Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Albertina Shifotoka, and I'm a Senior Research and Data Officer from the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund here in Namibia. I'm quickly going to share with you a brief presentation on the role of, first on the statistics that we record here at the MVA Fund and how that make an impact in terms of emergency medical services in the country. Okay. First, the outline of my presentation. I will first briefly share with you just about the MVA Fund as to what is the MVA Fund all about, what do we do, and then of course the source of the data that we collect. I'll also then share with you the types of data that is collected by the MVA Fund and of course analyzed by the fund as well, and the use of the road statistics. What do we do with the data that we collect and analyze? Of course, I also talk a little bit about the data-led approaches to EMRS in Namibia, and touched a little bit on the informed interventions for pre and post crashes. Okay, about the MVA Fund, the vision of the MVA Fund is to provide peace of mind to all people using our roads. The MVA Fund is a state-owned enterprise where it's kind of like the first insurer of people involved in road crashes. What we do is that we focus mainly on providing benefits to not only the people that are injured, but also the families of those that perished in road crashes. So we have benefits to support the family of those that become deceased in road crashes, and of course to take care of the medical treatment, as well as to provide injury grants to people that are injured in road accidents. One of the strategic focus areas of the MV Fund is to contribute toward accident and injury prevention, where mainly the aspect of data collection comes in order to inform interventions toward achieving this focus area. The MV Fund's operation is guided by national agendas or national documents or agendas, such as the Vision 2030. The presentation indicates 2010, but that's just a typing error. It should be a Vision 2030, which is aimed at turning Namibia into an industrialized nation by 2030. Another agenda is the National Development Plan. We call it NDP3, which of course have an aspect of the focus on quality of life, and that also guides the MVA Fund in terms of what we do on a daily basis. Another one is the National Road Safety Strategy, which is aimed at least reducing fatalities by 15% at 15% by 2015 and 50% by at least by 2030. Those are some of the documentations that guides the operation of the fund, and of course the Decade of Action, which Namibia is also a signatory to, Decade of Action for Road Safety. Moving forward, we'll then talk about the source of data that the MV Fund has, which the first one is that we get our information from the Namibian police, because these are the people that goes to accident scenes, and they the investigators of accidents. So there is a form, it's called accident report, that they compile, and this accident report is then given to the MV Fund either through the claim. When people claim from the MV Fund, they have to produce this, and this information then is recorded on our system. So they are the main actually source of our information. The other one is the health centers and hospitals. When patients are transported to hospitals have to keep a record of first of all their information, their personal information, as well as information regarding their injuries. So the hospitals is also another source of our information. And of course, the public, we have a call center in place where public members can report accidents. It's a toll-free number, as well as the private emergencies. When they are dispatched to accident scene, they also keep record of the patient that they attend to, and all this information is channeled through to the MVA Fund, and it's recorded on our system. I spoke about the public members through through our call center when they call. Of course, the call center agent had to go back to that caller and get some of the basic information regarding the accident, and that information is also another important source of our information. So our toll-free number is 0819-682, and it's available to in all corners of the country. And of course, the mortuaries, people that perish in accidents, they have to be taken to the nearest mortuaries, and the mortuaries also keep record, especially if it was a hit and run and there's no any other information concerning maybe the type of injury that killed this person. It comes through the post-mortem report when it's done. So those are the basic really first hand source of information for the MVA fund. Now, what type of information do the MVA fund collect and the MVA fund analyze? First and foremost is that we keep information regarding the date, the time, and the day of the crashes, because we want to know what time are accidents happening, or which days are more strict when it comes to road accident and so forth. Place of accidents, very important. It helps us to know the segments that are more of a concern when it comes to road accidents. The region, Namibia is divided into 13 regions, so we also record information pertaining the regions. And all this is really just for comparison purposes and to inform our interventions. Casualty names, gender, and age is recorded as well, because we need to know as to whether we need to come up with targeted programs based on age or gender. Road safety, road user category, whether it was a pedestrian, a passenger, a driver, what was the category of that person at the time of accident. The injury severity, whether it was minor, moderate, and slight, and so forth. And of course, the type of injuries as well is also recorded by the MVA fund, because we get in touch with treating doctors through our hospital case management, because we need to manage these cases in the hospitals, and of course we need to know the type of injuries that people sustain and are treated on. The location of the mortuaries, I spoke about this. When somebody perish, we need to know where are the people, the bodies kept. The receiving and referral hospitals, ambulance service providers, because we need to know which ambulance went to the scene. Of course, like I said, we have a call center in place that dispatch ambulances, but there are times that ambulance services are dispatched maybe by families of the injured, and we need to record as to which ambulance service went to the scene, and of course the time of service rendered, the time the accident was reported, the time the ambulance was informed, the time the ambulance actually dispatched from their service centers, and the time that they got to the scene, because we want to see to it that the assistance is immediate and it's not delayed in any way. So it's also informed by when we record the time of ambulance service that they rendered, and of course until the time they get to the hospital from the scene. It's recorded by the MV fund. These are some really of the information, but the main type of information that we record and analyze here at the MVA fund. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, then it will be a slide on what is it that we do, the use of the data that we collect. First and foremost is that we want to monitor crash trends. At least this gives us an indication as to how is the country doing in terms of crashes. Of course, like I said, the MV fund is there to lend a helping hand to all road users. Resource allocation, we need to know as to where do we then have to place an ambulance, for example, where depending on whether it takes long for ambulance service to get to accident scene. Namibia is a very vast country, and the information that we collect really does direct us as to where do we need to allocate the resources to manage hospital cases. Like I said, we take care of those that are in hospitals, and as a matter of fact, we need them to know where are the cases. So it's informed by the data. When the case managers come in office tomorrow, they must see on the system as to accident that happened yesterday, where are the patients, so that they can run with the management of such cases in hospitals, together with the doctors, of course. To direct, of course, our intervention for crashes and injury prevention, our public education is heavily informed by the data that we have, because they have to liaise with the data team regularly in order to see what are the issues that are coming forth as per the data, and where are the problems, so that they tackle those ones when they plan for public education activities. We also then want to manage claims processes, because only when you have data, you know which police attended to a certain crash, then you can also be able to assist the claimant to say, for police documentations, this is the investigator and so forth. So those are the key uses of the data that we have as the NVA fund, and of course to project for cost projections in terms of claims. If it was like this last month, then it means moving forward, maybe this is the cost that we need when we do budgeting and so forth. It's all informed by the data that we collect. Okay, high-level data-led approach to EMRS. The data used, like I said earlier, we want to be proactive in terms of creating awareness. We want to ensure that there is early access, like for those that are involved in accident, they have early access, and that's why we had an establishment of the call center, so that people don't wait longer at scenes without getting any help. So the establishment of the call center is really geared toward early access, and of course to the allocation of resources that I spoke earlier. It's also geared toward this, because then we want to know where do we have a need, say for example for paramedics, trained paramedics in ambulance services and so forth. Early intervention, we want the casualty capability within a short distance to appropriate centers for initial stabilization. This is really more on EMRS services. The paramedics are getting there early and so forth. We are guided by the 1 hour what is it called? 1 hour okay, I forgot about it. Never mind. And then of course early definitive care, and this is really in terms of patients' movement, the transfers, the treating doctors, are they trained? Are they, and when patients have to be transferred, it have to come through the NV fund so that we manage, which we facilitate actually, because our case managers have to know as to if patients move from one hospital to the other, who are those patients and where are they now. So it's all about that, and of course all this is kept to run smooth because of the data that we have. I spoke heavily already about the programs in place being also fed by the data that we have. Informed intervention, pre and post crashes. The NV Fund have in place programs that are aimed toward preventing accidents. That's a pre, and these are mainly on the education part. Our public education works tirelessly together with other stakeholders in the country in order to ensure that people have road safety information. There is also the aspect of enforcement, that the laws are enforced. Public can also report traffic violations through our call center, and this is also recorded. And this information is then, we need to follow up with the law enforcement officers on anywhere in the country to see to it that if a violation was reported to us, action has been taken, because we don't want just laws that are created for nothing. The engineering part, which is more onto the road constructions or road engineering to see to it that our roads are safer. The other part is on the post crashes is the focus on the emergency. We, as the fund, invest heavily on training paramedics, very important, and also training the nurses and doctors in state hospitals to see to it that they are at the level where they should be. It's all done through the NVA fund as well. We also take part in terms of procuring ambulance equipment and all the necessary things that are needed in state ambulances. And of course, the evaluation part to see to it that their road audits are done and whether there's any impact at all for all the road safety programs that the company, the organization, and other stakeholders are taking with regard, of course, informed by our data, but we want to do an evaluation of that. Next, I would want to share with you on the challenges and on the future plans of the NVA fund. Challenges is that the country, Namibia, lacks a harmonized national data system. We have various institutions collecting data for their use, and this is really not good. For example, the MV Fund collects only data where from accidents where or from crashes where somebody was either injured or where a person died, because this is where we get a claim from. So that means accidents with only material damage to vehicles are not recorded by the MV Fund but by another body. So it's really a challenge that we don't have a harmonized system in the country that that pulls together all accidents related information, regardless of whether there's an injury or it's just a damage only, because we need this. Another challenge that we have here, the MV Fund, is that now the Namibian police that is recording completing the accident reports, we find out that in most cases the forms are not fully completed. So they are incomplete, and this really makes us to have incomplete information as well. A situation that then requires that we need to train them. We need a training for investigators to, on how to complete the police report as part of our future plan. And of course, we also need now to assist the National Road Safety Council, because this is the national body that is responsible for data. But of course, they have challenges like staffing, human resources. They don't have enough officers and what have you. They don't have enough computers to capture information at the right time. So as a matter of fact, then we find it's a challenge, but we need to assist. Our plan is to assist the National Road Safety Council to set up completely. So those are some of the challenges, and of course our future plans as the country. I think I have come to an end of my presentation, and thank you very much for the opportunity given to us to share with you in as far as what is concerned with the data in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Albertina, for your wonderful presentation. I think we have a better idea of what the MVA Fund does in the Accident and Injury Prevention Unit. All right, so we'll just conclude this session, but thank you again, and I hope you found it as fruitful as I did.